I have a question for you. In a situation where you need to hit this ball towards the target, if you had to choose one side to swing towards, whether it be the target side or the opposite side, which one would you choose? Perhaps the stronger the hit required, the more people will choose to turn their back to the target rather than face the target. The reason is that in order to secure enough space for a proper hit, it is much more advantageous to swing with your back to the target rather than facing it. One of the main concerns you have is the backswing. The purpose of the backswing is to create space to adequately throw the club head at the ball. I will turn for the backswing. The expression, to turn, is the key point of this video. The intention behind the backswing pattern that many golfers have emphasized contains a twist. I try to keep my upper body, which is holding the club, taut while anchoring some part of my body. And the tension that it creates can easily be mistaken for the feeling of a proper backswing and strength. Additionally, we start to worry about whether we are properly following the swing path of the club while twisting our bodies tightly. Since we need to twist our bodies and maintain the correct path, we increasingly want to look at the mirror rather than the ball. In that moment, when we are actually looking at the ball and hitting it, golfers become thoroughly focused on their external perspective, curious about how their swing looks. My subscribers and I should not swing so hard. I will definitely make it really simple for you. Absolutely. Although we live while feeling the three-dimensional space, we uniquely perceive the golf swing in 2 dimensions. Unlike other sports where the ball moves or your position can change freely, in golf, you must focus on the ball from a fixed position. Due to the inability to lift our feet, meaning we cannot freely change our position, we interpret our swing as a 2-dimensional image on a video, while still feeling it in 3-dimensional space. When facing forward, the sides feel unstable, and when focusing on the sides, the front becomes unstable again. However, we cannot change the alignment of our body while swinging. And looking ahead, we still have to stand facing forward and hit sideways. The back still feels unstable. Is there a way to simply eliminate the back and hit the ball straight up and down? What needs to change is our perspective. Right now, my gaze is on the camera, and my body is also facing the camera. In this context, the front direction is obviously the direction of the camera. However, if I turn my head and shift my gaze to the right, the front direction based on my body is undoubtedly the direction of the camera. But from the perspective of my gaze, the front direction would be this way. We perform the golf swing while facing the ball in a limited space, which means that the forward direction based on our body will never change. However, our line of sight can change. This is where we can find clues to create a simple pattern of backswing that strikes up and down. Now, I will show you a practice method for backswing by changing your perspective, approach the ball, turn completely to the right, and simply lift the club up. Then, practice swinging downwards in this manner. You have turned and lifted the club up, and then simply struck downwards behind you. You have turned and simply lifted it up, then struck downwards. Alternatively, you can turn, lift it forward, and swing back. As I mentioned before, you don't need to worry about your left arm bending. It involves turning around and swinging forward, or upward, downward, or behind you. Continue practicing your swing. While feeling this sensation of swinging behind your back, this will create such an image. In other words, the backswing is not about rotating and twisting the body, but about turning your perspective. When you change your perspective, your backswing becomes incredibly easier and simpler. As I showed you earlier, it is clear that our body is facing the ball. So in relation to our body, the front is definitely this way. Therefore, when I say to swing forward, in my lessons, I have often seen most golfers bringing their backswing up in an ambiguous diagonal direction. However, if we think from the perspective of our line of sight, changing our gaze makes it easier to lift the club forward. You can also see that the path of the swing, the trajectory of the swing club, is gently diagonal. You can apply this greatly simplified image to your swing. Change your perspective and simply hit downwards. Change your perspective and swing from front to back. I encourage you to try to capture that feeling and work on changing your perspective. The expression turning around, which is emphasized at the beginning of the video, refers to the concept of changing one's perspective or viewpoint rather than physically rotating the body. So, this metaphorical turn of gaze is a crucial aspect of understanding and analyzing situations from different angles. It is a technique that is well observed in today's top players, such as Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy, who are known for their ability to adapt and view the game from various perspectives. This skill is not only prevalent among contemporary players, but is also a trademark of the greatest player in the history of golf, Jack Nicklaus. Nicklaus's ability to change his perspective and approach the game with a fresh outlook has been a significant factor in his success and has set a standard for future generations of golfers. By turning around and viewing the game from different angles, players can gain a deeper understanding and develop more effective strategies, ultimately enhancing their performance on the course. It is also a noticeable aspect in our country's Im Hee-jung, who has a swing that looks very good. Now, you will be able to perceive the swing motions of the players on the 2D screen in a more three-dimensional way. Instead of twisting your body, please turn your gaze. I believe that if you perceive space differently, your swing can become very simple. This different perspective on striking will upgrade your swing to another level.